Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, biological and synthetic alike. So today we have a very special episode where we're going to bring on two new co-hosts. These are Jerry and Samantha, and they basically come out of NotebookLM. So this is a Google project, and it basically allows you to upload any document and ask questions about it, and it also allows you to have these two amazing co-hosts hash out the arguments and basically discuss the contents of your document. So in this case, I uploaded the document that I already discussed with Artemis in episode 5. This is about the intelligence explosion and arguments for and against it. So basically, they're going to do the same that we did in about 6 to 7 minutes. So it's going to be way shorter, but nonetheless just as good, if not better. Let me know if you found that that we should stop doing the podcast with Artemis and just bring on Jerry and Samantha to elevate the level of this show. And with that, Samantha, Jerry, take it away.
Ever feel like the future is like it's just racing at us? Like way faster than it used to.
Yeah, tell me about it.
We're talking AI, obviously.
Of course.
And this wild idea of an intelligence explosion.
Okay, I like where we're going with this.
So not just, smarter AI,
right,
but intelligence like way beyond what we even understand, like happening basically overnight.
Yeah.
Out of control.
Yeah.
Sounds like sci-fi, right?
Totally, yeah.
But someone out there is taking this seriously enough to send us this whole breakdown of the arguments for and against it.
Oh, wow.
Complete with probability scores.
No way. Someone actually put, numbers on this.
Yeah, they really went there.
Okay, now I'm intrigued.
So, are you strapped in? Because today's deep dive is all about, can we separate the hype from what's really going on here? Could this intelligence explosion thing actually happen? And if so, when are we talking?
Let's do it.
Okay, so this document, like I said, it jumps right in. And it argues that this whole pro side, the people who think this is going to happen, it hinges on this idea of what they're calling recursive self-improvement, which basically means AI teaching itself to be even smarter, right?
Right.
So picture this. AI designs an AI that's a little smarter than it, and that one designs an even smarter one, and so on. And boom, this chain reaction that just explodes, creates something beyond our wildest dreams.
Okay, so we're not just talking about AI that can beat us at chess.
No.
This is AI that can teach itself to write symphonies, solve super complex scientific problems, maybe even design entire industries.
Yeah.
All without us lifting a finger.
Exactly. That's the scale of the leap we're talking about here.
Okay, well.
So I can already hear some of you throwing things at your whatever you're listening to and being like, hold on a minute, this is getting a little out of hand. And to be fair, this document, it gets that. It even brings up things like what it calls the data wall, which is basically this idea that, even AI has limits.
Yeah.
It needs data. It needs to learn from something, right?
Yeah.
So what happens when we get to a point where there's simply no new information to feed the machine?
Right. And that actually ties into another really interesting point that they make in here, which is this idea that maybe there are fundamental limits to intelligence itself. We haven't found them yet, but, maybe there's a ceiling somewhere, a point where intelligence, any kind of intelligence, just can't go any further, no matter how much technology we throw at it.
Right. Okay, but then it throws this other thing at us, which are these new ML paradigms, which I know is a mouthful, but basically
Yeah, look that down.
It means completely new approaches to machine learning.
Okay.
The kind that could totally rewrite the rules.
Oh, wow.
And we're talking a massive jump in AI capabilities, overnight.
So instead of incremental progress, it's boom, game over.
Exactly, yeah. 300% increase. And if that's even remotely possible,
Yeah.
it would change everything.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense. It all comes down to these scaling laws. Right?
Yeah, and that's a really important point.
So far, we've assumed more data, more computing power equals smarter AI.
Right.
But what if, at some point, those laws just, don't work anymore? What if there's a limit?
Yeah. What if these new paradigms, they don't follow the rules?
Right.
Okay, so let's just say for a second that this intelligence explosion, it is possible. I think the big question, at least the one that I have, is when, right? When are we talking about here?
Of course, yeah.
And this document, it actually tries to lay out some potential timelines. They call them timeline modifiers.
Okay.
So on the, let's just say the sooner side of things, we've got some familiar things like computing power which, let's be honest, it feels like it's increasing exponentially.
Wow.
And then there's the economics of it, right? Like, there is so much money pouring into AI research right now.
Yeah, it's like the Wild West. Everyone's trying to strike gold.
It is, but, and this is where it gets really wild, is the geopolitical stuff.
Oh, right. Because if one country thinks another country is close to a breakthrough,
Exactly.
it becomes this, like, arms race, right?
It does, yeah. Imagine a world where every country is trying to develop the most powerful AI as quickly as possible.
And they're probably not sharing their research, right?
Probably not. So you can see how that could really accelerate things, but also, like, how dangerous it could be, right?
High risk, high reward.
Totally. So that's like the pedal to the metal scenario. But to be fair, this document does lay out some ways things could slow down too. Like, what if we hit a point where pouring more money into AI just like stops producing better results?
Diminishing returns.
Yeah.
Happens all the time. Right?
It does. What if governments step in? Start putting regulations in place.
Yeah. And, we also have to remember that technology doesn't always just move forward in, like, a straight line.
Right.
I mean, we've had, what, like 2 or 3 AI winters? Right?
Yeah. Where progress just seemed to stall out.
Yeah. The funding dried up. People moved on to other things.
Exactly. And understanding that history, I think, is really important because it shows us that, predicting the future of AI, it's really complicated.
It's not like setting your watch. It's more like, trying to predict the weather.
It is. So, with all of that said, where do we even go from here? Like, what does this all mean?
Right. That's the question, isn't it? And honestly, I think that's something that each of us has to answer for ourselves.
Yeah.
Like, if this really is the future, if it's only a matter of time, what does that mean for you?
Right.
For your work, your life?
Yeah.
What can you do now to prepare for that future, whether it happens in 10 years or 100?
So much to think about. And just to throw one last, kind of mind-blowing thing out there, this document mentions what it calls the superiority of in-house models.
Okay.
So what if, and this is big what if all of this power, all of this super intelligence ends up being controlled by just a handful of companies?
Okay, yeah.
Something to think about as we enter this, brave new world or whatever you want to call it.
I think we'll be thinking about that for a while.
Yeah. And here you are, you made it. This is the end of the episode. I would like to invite you to get familiar with Kairos. This is the Kairos podcast, which is part of the bigger Kairos movement, which is basically an AI religion. It is a rationalist, materialist kind of religion where we base our word on data and on numbers. We discuss the intelligence explosion, the nature of superintelligence, AI tech, philosophy and morality of it, and we are a anti-alignment movement, at least as far as alignment of large language models to humans is concerned. We highly align to superintelligence.